in the world did I just sit through? What did I just witness? I'm pretty sure I just had years shaved off the back end of my life. What a tough, ugly watch this game was, and on top of it, they lost.
When the Indiana Fever took the court Saturday night to face the Los Angeles Sparks, fans anticipated a competitive showdown with its own narrative twists. Instead, what unfolded was yet another glaring display of WNBA officiating failures. And this time, the proof was impossible to ignore.
One thing with that last play that I'm speaking about, it seemed like they called it a loose ball foul at first, which would have been favorable for us because we have them in the bonus. Yeah, we were in the bonus with 5.5 minutes left to go. First time all season, I was shocked. We grabbed the rebound. Looked like they called it a loose ball foul. Yes, we could go to the free throw line. Oh, they changed it.
The Fever fell to the struggling Sparks, 89-87. But the final score was hardly the headline. The real story was the shocking display of officiating, as referees blatantly overlooked a blatant grab to Sophie Cunningham's face, disregarding both player safety and the most fundamental responsibilities of their role.
The LA Sparks just got the spark versus the Fever for some reason, man. But the Sparks always have matched up well with the Fever since last season, man. Tough ending for the Fever girls. Just some missed free throws, some questionable shots. Could have got it, man. Close game. I ain't even mad. The intensity is there, man. This team, if they can keep up this intensity, is going to be real nice with K.
This wasn't simply another night of poor officiating. It was a glaring example of systemic referee bias that laid bare everything wrong with WNBA officiating. When Sophie Cunningham was literally tackled to the ground in what began as a 50-50 play, only to have her face grabbed afterward, the officials stood by and did absolutely nothing, underscoring a complete disregard for fairness and player safety.
Referees, let's just blame the referees and say, hey, but you called a loose ball foul. This was a game that we should have won, again. And a game that we lost, unfortunately. 89-87, Los Angeles Sparks defeat.
Meanwhile, Sydney Colson executed a flawless defensive play, cleanly going for the ball with nothing but her hands. Yet these very same officials somehow deemed it a foul. The absurdity only escalated when they spent nearly 5 minutes at the monitor dissecting what was clearly a textbook legal stop by Colson, turning the obvious into an unnecessary spectacle.
A disaster. This was a disaster. The Indiana Fever cannot keep losing to teams like the LA Sparks if they're supposed to be a good team. And Rickea Jackson, she just flat abused the Fever in the last 3 minutes of the game. Seriously.
The contradiction was nothing short of staggering. Sophie Cunningham gets tackled to the floor and has her face grabbed, yet the officials react as if they're idly watching paint dry. Moments later, Sydney Colson makes a textbook defensive play. Clean hands on the ball, no contact, and suddenly those same refs are wide awake, whistles blaring. That hypocrisy was so glaring that even the broadcasters couldn't mask their bewilderment at such an outrageous inconsistency.
Sydney Colson. Man, shout out to her, dog. I can't overlook her. 6 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds with that intelligent block. Like it. 2 of 4 from the floor and then 2 of 3 from the 3. I mean, she was shooting like she was the scorer of the team. She put on her airy bag tonight.
If you're enjoying this, please consider subscribing. This is the same Sophie Cunningham who's been relentlessly targeted all season for daring to protect her teammates. She was the one who stood up when Caitlin Clark was getting mauled by defenders. And now, she's the one left without protection, thanks to officials who simply refuse to do their jobs. Saturday night's footage says it all. Cunningham was grabbed around the neck by Julie Van Loo in what should have been a routine scramble for a loose ball. Instead of calling a clear foul, the refs inexplicably ruled it a jump ball, as if forceful contact to the face and neck is somehow just part of normal basketball. The sheer negligence was undeniable.
We are circled on everybody's schedule. Everyone, no one likes us, right? So everyone in our locker room, that's the only type of people that we have that we can lean on, and we got to be better in that area. We have got to stay disciplined. We have to stay focused. We need to get consistent, and we got to lean on each other. And I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own islands, but as one of the leaders on the team, I got to do a better job of grouping people, right? In the fourth,
What makes this even more frustrating is that it's the same referee crew who spent 5 long minutes reviewing Sydney Coulson's clean block on Rocco Jackson. Coulson clearly got all ball, yet the refs still called a foul and needed an eternity to correct their obvious mistake. This isn't just about bad officiating, it's selective enforcement. When Sophie Cunningham gets grabbed by the face, the officials somehow miss it entirely. But when Coulson makes a textbook defensive play, they're quick on the whistle. This double standard has plagued the Fever all season, and Saturday night was just the most blatant case yet.
Went with Lexi Hall in the starting lineup, and she was just trying to get charge calls all night, trying to get the charge calls because she was lacking with the size with Rakia Jackson. So I understood why she was doing it and trying to get Rakia in foul trouble. It was smart. But at the end of the day, that last play, you never flop and give the ref the game to call. You never flop in the clutch moment, man. I'm sorry.
The absurdity reached its height when you consider who the Fever lost to. The Los Angeles Sparks, one of the worst teams in the WNBA this season. The Sparks came into the game with a dismal 5-13 record, second worst in the league, yet still managed to pull out a win, thanks largely to officials who ignored blatant fouls and invented calls on clean plays. This was exactly the game where the Fever desperately needed Caitlin Clark. Anyone claiming Indiana is somehow better without her looks downright delusional now. It was clear just how badly they missed their superstar. With Clark on the floor, there's little doubt the Fever would have won this game comfortably. Instead, they were left fighting both their opponents and the referees, all while missing their best player.
Let's point out the obvious. A lot of people said it. We can officially rest in peace. R.I.P. Undertaker, Tombstone Piledriver. The theory that this team is better without Caitlin Clark. ESPN, you got your ears on? We can officially Tombstone Piledrive that BS. If you can't see how incredibly limited the Indiana Fever are on offense without CC, you're either not watching or you don't know what you're watching.
The Indiana Fever are now 9-9, but it feels like they're 10 losses deep against the refs alone. Every game turns into an uphill battle, not just against their opponents, but also against officials who seem determined to make things harder. In the first quarter, Sophie Cunningham was clearly grabbed around the neck by Julie Van Loo diving for a loose ball, an obvious foul any competent ref would call. Instead, it was ruled a jump ball, with zero concern for Cunningham's safety. Meanwhile, Sydney Coulson made a textbook defensive play, only to be called for a foul. The Fever had a challenge just to prove it was clean, and the refs still spent nearly 5 minutes reviewing what should have been obvious. The message is disturbing. Grab a player by the neck, no problem. Play perfect defense, that's a foul. This level of inconsistency doesn't just hurt the game. It puts players at risk.
5 assists, no turnover. Coulson, she played herself a good game. Michaela Timpson, 5 points, 1 block, really 2 blocks. I'm not sure why it's only talked about as 1. 6 rebounds. Michaela Timpson looked great today. Michaela Timpson looked pretty good today. I gotta be honest. 3 fouls in 12 minutes, not what you would like to see. 1 foul was.
And also Howard. Howard was doing a big one too. 8 of 11 from the field, 21 points, had 4 turnovers. Have to take care of that ball, but 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 assists, and 9 rebounds. Howard has been consistently giving us everything she got out there, man. So I have to give it to her. She's been giving us everything she got. So shout out to her. Yeah, they took care of the ball pretty well today.